G'day YouTube, my name's Lance. Welcome to Bundy Bear's Shed. Well, the weather report, I've got this bloody dog right down here. The weather report, look, it's been hot and sultry, low 30s. But yeah, the humidity. Yesterday morning at, I think it was a little after 5 a.m, we had 27.5 degrees and 100% humidity, it said. So I thought with 100% humidity it had to be raining, but look, it was just steamy, like you wouldn't believe. The grass out the front, my mum come to see me late in the morning, about 10 o'clock or something, and there was still moisture on all the grass out the front, like it couldn't dry off. So yeah, very hot and steamy. We've all been, you start off in the morning and look, it's a bit after, it's probably 6 now, 6 o'clock Monday morning now, and yeah, it's starting to steam up a little bit, not too bad. We had some storms through last night, and look, it was just one storm after another, and I've just been for a little walk with the camera around, and the wind as the storms come was unreal. I've been for a walk with the camera, and over at the little barn, little stables where I keep the TEF20 and that, there's branches on there I have to clean up now. There's branches on the roof, branches where you go into it. Down the paddock there's branches, there's a tree broken off out the back here. So it went mad. So I just went and had a look at the fence line in case I made up the back. Like last time there was a bloody branch over his place, and yeah, he got on the phone and we had to shift it immediately, and a big kick up about it. So I thought, oh well, I know he doesn't hop up till 9 or 10 o'clock in the morning, so I thought, well, I'll just go and have a quick look at the boundary, make sure there's nothing going on there. And bugger me dead, there's a couple of his branches on my place. So anyway, we're not going to worry about that too much. Yeah, so I just didn't want anything of mine over there because it's just a big fuss. So with the storm last night, and like I say, it just blew right in under the patios and the verandas, and I have my little machine shop, shipping container machine shop up in a carport. Well, it blew in. I had a look this morning around the doorway, and I keep it all closed to keep the moisture out. But yeah, it blew right into the door there. And so today, what I do in this sort of situation, once I took my little machine shop out of my big shed here, or you have your machine tools and there's a bit of oil on. Sometimes oil absorbs moisture. And I found that the lathe, I was always working on the lathe, trying to keep it clean and surface rust free and things like that. But I took it up the front there, put it in a little shipping container with aircon. The aircon doesn't run unless I'm in there, and problem solved, there's just nothing there. So today, with it being so humid, and I was up there yesterday afternoon buggering around too, I had the aircon on. So by putting the aircon on, you actually dry the air out and it keeps it nice in there. So I'll crank the aircon up there later. There's a little mozzie hanging around. We have quite a few mosquitoes now because we have water in the dams and things like that. We have quite a few mosquitoes. So anyway, that's just life, isn't it? That's how it is. And we ended up with 88 millimetres, and Grumpy Dave, the neighbour next door, he had 98 millimetres. So I don't know how that works. We've got the proper big Nilex rain gauge, and we've got it on a fence, so it's about 6 metres away from any structure and all that that you're supposed to have. And if I get 25 mil, he's had 29. He always gets more. But then last night in the storm, 10 millimetres more. I was thinking, I don't know, I'm going to ask him where his bloody rain gauge is, because it's got to be getting spray off a roof or I don't know where it is. But anyway, I can see a mozzie running around the front of that camera there. Christ knows why. But anyway, I don't know if it's going to pick it up or what. But anyway, little bastard. I should bag on it. And with the nice season we're having at the moment, the wasps are building everywhere. I got the trailer out the other day because we're planning on going to Brendamere in a fortnight for the grey Fergie muster here in Australia. It's grey Fergie and Land Rover muster, and So on one of these pricks, I've got to check everything over and check it over. And so I know the trailer wheel bearings were fine, but I had to bloody hook it up to the ute, get it out the front here and pull all the caps off and have a look and just go from there. So I checked the bearings yesterday, and one of them was a little bit loose, so I've nipped that up and a bit more grease just to go good. And I put a new trailer plug on it. It was getting a bit brittle, just from sitting out in the weather like it does. So tyres pumped up, trailer's ready to rock and roll. It's just sitting out the front here, and it's ready to go. This next week coming up, I'm going to register the TEA. I've got to register it in Queensland. You need a horn and a mirror and a few other things. Well, look, I'm just going to go and register it. You need a flashing light, so I believe the flashing light is mandatory everywhere. So I'm going to put a pole on it with a flashing light, and that's all I'm going to worry about. All we're really going to do is go from the caravan park to Brendamere, or do one street parade with it or something like that. It's not a tractor I'm going to drive around the countryside here. So yeah, I'm just going to register it for insurance purposes. So we're right, there's a heap of old farmers got tractors around here, and yeah, they have an old number plate that you're flat out reading on them, and lights aren't working. No one cares as long as you've got a flashing light. So just for this little tractor, it's not a trekking tractor. Just for this little tractor, I'm just going to put a pole on it, and I'll try and hook a cigarette lighter up to it sometime today. So the light I would like to use, it's just a magnetic one with a cigarette lighter plug. So I'll have something that I can hook to the battery. It's not going to be a major thing. So I'll try and get that done this week sometime if I can. Next weekend we're away at a wedding. I've got my mate Paulie coming to look after the place. So yeah, we're heading out to Mergen. My mate Mick and Margaret, the oldest fella Ben, he's getting married, so family friends for years, so we're heading out there. And our friends Mick and Margaret that owned Remco Engineering out in Mergen. Now old Bob, Mick's dad, started it 35 years ago, I see. Mick and Margaret have been talking about selling the business and retiring, and yeah, 1st of March the new owners took over. So my mate Mick, he's retired now. He's going to help a little bit in the shop. There's no official agreement, he said. So Margaret's going to do the garden, and looks like a bit of child minding and bits and pieces. So good on him. I was really happy to see it, because I thought, like a parts business like ours, it's probably a bit easier to sell than a big engineering works. But like Mick said, he priced it to sell because they wanted to sell. So yeah, look, that's great news for them. I'm really happy about that. They got a house down at Toogoom, so yeah, Mick reckons he'll be doing a bit of time down there, and he's got some projects in the shed. Mick and I could be brothers, He's got big shed, lathes, milling machines, all the gear in there, so hoists and presses and all that sort of stuff. So he's telling me he's got about 100 years worth of projects to do, so he's going to have a muck around with them. So look, that's great. I'm really happy for him. We were looking at putting Queensland Tractor Spares on the market and retiring, but look, I want to leave it a couple of years yet. It's a great business, and yeah, while we're still paying off the shed in town, the building that it's in, there's no use selling and putting half of your sales proceeds into the bank. You may as well pay it off. So another year or two and we'll be good. So Queensland Tractor Spares, it'll go up on the market in a year or two, but no hurry. You don't want to rush these things. Your last paycheck, no one wants to see that. But anyway, I think you can see here, you can see the kingpin housing off the 65, and this is where on the weekend I've been videoing. I didn't video popping the kingpin bushes in because I did that on the TE20 video, and it was pissing down rain, so I just bumped them in. Being a Sparex bush, no need to ream, things like that, it just doesn't need to. So I've videoed putting the kingpin in, doing the top here. I still need to tidy up. I tried to get the sandblaster, my big sandblaster. I always leave the light on, and for some reason I've turned the light out. And the reason I leave the light on is to keep that bit of warmth in into the cabinet there just to stop the sand getting wet and that. So, but with all this moisture, I'm flat having decent dry air coming out. Like it comes out of the tank into a tank, then up the wall, then it has to come along. Then before it can come into the sandblaster, there's a dropper, to drain that off. So I always drain that off and that, but I still can't use it in this weather at the moment. I'll have to get a bit better set up, I suppose, get an air dryer, and the sand's a bit sticky just from the air. So so I've been sort of sanding parts by hand a little bit, with a right angle die grinder and gasket remover. So I've done the bearings. We've done the wheel bearing video and putting the studs in. We've done that this last weekend, and I've got the front bolster off and the front axle out, and I've done a video with it sitting on the forklift, because what's happened at some stage in its life is the main bolster that bolts onto the front of the engine with the axle pivots in, it's got very worn at some stage. So what's happened is they've bored that out and they've made a homemade bush, or an engineer-made bush, and they've welded the back pin up to oversize to fit this bush and then machined it down. So the front pin, it seems to be okay, but they've put a spacer there. But the back pin, I've got it set up in, look, I've on Bundy Bear's Shed, I've put a little post on Facebook, and my little Hare and Forbes HM48mm, I've got the whole axle beam set up. It took me half a day to set it up and get it rigid and get it true and put a shim and bug around, but look, it's really good. I'm very happy with how accurate it is. And the pin, well, the bush says 47.5mm, so I'm presuming the pin's supposed to be about 47mm, which gives you a few thou clearance for grease and that. So I've got it in there, and I'll be I went to put my big boring head in there. Well, no room, so I've got this little pissy little Indian one that I've had tucked away for just small engine jobs and things, just little things. And I've got it there. Then when you bring the tool down, the top of the tool wants to rub on the pins. I've had to pull it all out and grind all that, and then grind it flat to hold the tool at the angle I wanted it. And then because I have to run the mill backwards in reverse, so anti-clockwise looking down, halfway through the first run, and the boring head comes unscrewed from the arbor. So anyway, it's all Loctited in and it can't come off now. But look, it's going good. I have to hand feed, and hand feeding, bringing it down there, I'm not getting the finish I'd really like, and because it's just flimsy, it's a flimsy mill, and it's a boy doing a man's job. And there's a tad of chatter there, but look, we're not going to worry about that. I'm going to probably drop it another 3 or 4 mil, which would be 5 or 6 off the diameter. And someone's welded that pin up over time and machined it down. Well, setting it up off one of those surfaces was problematic, but look, we've got it done. But I'm going to actually machine it down undersize, probably only say 3mm. Then I've got the new bush there, and we're going to press a sleeve onto the front axle pivot with a nicely ground finish on it, and so it'll have a replaceable sleeve. Not that we'll ever replace it again, but the front axle pivot, the front pin seems pretty good. Like, there's a little bit of wear there, but it's, on the tractor you will never notice it. It'll be fine. But this back pin on the main bolster, where the bush should go into the housing, well, the bush just drops through. So they've obviously machined that well oversized. So there is a little bit of outer round there, and the outer round's about 20 thou just in one spot. So the plan with that is to work with that. I can't fit it in the milling machine. I was going to take it to an engineer, and I thought, I do like doing stuff myself, working it all out. And so the plan there will be to clean up that hole, and we're going to machine on the lathe an insert to go into that housing that takes the standard bush. Then we'll put another insert on the back of the front axle pivot, like another sleeve on the pin that I'm machining down now, and press that on, and we should be back to standard specs, so you can buy a standard bush for it, and away we go. So most of the front end parts on this tractor are a standard 65, not heavy duty or anything, like the bushes in here and all that, and the bearing, well, T20 bearings and things like that. So so that may be today's exercise. I'll see. I was hoping to swing the engine off and get the engine out and pressure cleaned. If I get the engine off, I can't get it out around there because of the weather we've had. The old forky will just go straight down. So I'll see. I may not do that. I may just concentrate on this front axle and see how we go. So later on, when I'm up machining, I'll take a little bit of video and tack onto the end here of my dodgy setup. My friend Brian Block from overseas, from over in America, I need him now. He could set it up in his big line boring machine, and yeah, she'd just be whiz, 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 done, bloody whiz. It'd probably nearly fit in his big Monarch and just spin it around. But anyway, that's just that's just how it is. It wouldn't have fitted in my big Maxon I sold. But that big Monarch of Brian's, yeah, she would have sat in there nicely, I believe. But anyway, I don't have one. Brian's too far away. Yeah, so unless I go for a holiday, but they probably won't let me in. Yeah, so but anyway, look, I've worked my way through some of the books and things that I got last weekend. Slightly runny nose just from the moisture in here. I'll probably do a video, or I don't know whether to do still photos or a video, and we'll put it on YouTube, and probably on one of the Facebook pages, maybe Bundy Bear Shed Facebook page, something, I don't know, but there's a lot of operators books, Massey Ferguson 1200 books, things that I won't use, but if we can keep it in the tractor restoring community, look, that'll be fine. I don't need 500 operators books for things I don't have, and I'm probably not likely to buy. So like I've got operators books for a lot of the Massey Ferguson product, not Ferguson so much, Massey Ferguson, you know, like the number 1 post hole digger, the 501 post hole digger. There's a lot of operators books on mowers and things. So rather than keep them here and put them in a box and have the cockroaches or something get in and chew the pages, I'm going to move them on. It's just I can't see the sense in just storing stuff for years and years when someone else might be able to use it. One fella contacted me at the moment. He's put his hand up for the Massey Ferguson 80 combine books. I've even got the school notes where the old fella went to the school on the combine. So I'll do a bundle of him, and I'll sell them just to try and get a bit of money back into Bundy Bear Shed from the money we spent down there. We spent a heap. So I'll try and do that. There's a lot of 542 combine books. Yeah, there's mower books. There's all sorts of stuff that, a heap of baler books. So if you have a Massey Ferguson baler, square baler, send me a message. Look, on bundybearsshed@gmail.com, on the YouTube here, just leave a message saying I've emailed you about such and such a book. And I'll see the message on YouTube, and I'll also see it on bundybearsshed@gmail. And any books we sell, it's just through PayPal. So yeah, we'll work out a price, we'll work out the postage. It'll be so much per item plus postage, so if you buy a few, I suppose, you know, and we can, with Australia Post, we can put 2 or 3 books in one thing and the price won't change, so combining post will help. So I don't know, today it's quite overcast and shitty looking, but I've never a shortage of things to do. But anyway, we'll just see how we go. I got over here, I got the new nose cone for the 65 this week, and it's a quality one. Sparex didn't have any, so I brought it in with a quality order. Now see this beam down here, that's nice, but then the bottom one's just rounded. So that's just give us a heap of work to do. I can't show you the other one, but yeah, this bottom one should be the same as the top one there, and I put the chrome piece at work. I don't think I have a chrome piece at home yet for the air inlet, and yeah, these holes are a bit off, so I'm going to have to weld these holes up, redo the holes, and yeah, deal with that. See, that's round where it should be, that top profile there. So anyway, that's the problems you seem to have with aftermarket parts. We do try not to sell an awful lot of, particularly bonnet parts. Our Fergie 35 3 and 4 cylinder sides, the 20 and the 20.5-inch sides, they're a good thing, they work okay. The bottom aprons on 35s, they're always a little bit problematic. They never just go straight on, but that's just how it is. We tell people, and yeah, it's always something to do. And I'm a far better mechanic than I am a panel beater, so anyway, we'll see. So yeah, look, that's probably it for the stew. I've been for a little walk around with the camera. I will take the camera up and do a little bit of video just to show you the boring bar working and things like that, just what I have. My gear's that small and light, like I say, I'm getting that little bit of chatter, and I've adjusted the tool angle a couple of times to get it optimised, but it's still only a cheap Chinese carbide tip. But look, it seems to be doing the job okay. So I need to take a couple more millimeters off there. So when I press the bush on and Loctite the bush on, there's enough meat there to do a nice job. And yeah, we'll see how we go. So probably a bit of machining coming up. But look, that's all for this week. Oh yes, no, it's not, Lance. Yesterday, Jude wanted her car serviced, so she got a little Yaris, so I serviced the little Toyota Yaris and got that going and got wiper blades on, and then we were wondering why the pump up the front's kicking in, and so had a look under the sink, and we've got like a water filter there, so a couple of those little push-in fittings were leaking, just not much, but so anyway, off to Bunnings to grab the fittings and do that. So I've been under the sink and fixed all that up for Jude, then did me trailer, then up at the house, all the stuff to do up at the house there. A few jobs for Jude up at the house. But Jude washed the ute for me, washed the ute and the Triton, my Land Cruiser and the Triton over the weekend. So look, that was a big help, because I hop up early and I work till late and I just don't stop, and I still don't get shit done. And so anyway, I usually try, Mondays I try and put away for the channel, for videoing and things like that, a bit of editing and stuff like that. So we'll see. But today I do have to do a little pole for the TE20. I have to get the plough off the TE20, because even though I'd like to take it to Bendemeer, it doesn't fit on my trailer with the plough. My trailer's too short, but it may be in the plan to get a new one a bit longer one day, but for the moment, we just got what we got, and that'll have to do. So so I do have to make a pole for a flashing light just to make it legal, so when we're cruising around we're okay. And yeah, probably give the little tractor a run. It's just sitting, I'm looking over here because it's just sitting at the hoist there. But anyway, never a dull moment. It's muggy as buggery. Looks like it might piss down rain again yet, who knows? But we'll see how we go. But look, that is it for this week. Thanks for stopping by. There will be a couple of 65 videos dropped this week. I only had enough footage with me going away last week to do one video, and it went out last week. I can't remember what the bloody thing was about now. That's bloody dodgy. But so far this week we've done the wheel bearings, we've done just fitting the kingpin, just that part, and I've done a video on the front bolster and the pins and what we're going to do with that. So it might come out before the others, because I'm actually asking for suggestions on how to fix it, but I think I'm on top of that now. But look, I'm still halfway through the job, so not even halfway. I've just started machining the first piece, so I'm open to any ideas. So There's a Mozzie. All right, we'll catch you later next week. We'll catch you later. And yeah, next week we'll see what we can get up to and see what we can film and things like that. I do have a busy week after work. Oh, I'm never going to get this bloody stew finished. I got the new top for the pressure pump, hooked it up, lasted an hour. Bang, it's fried. So I've been talking to the Sparky and he said, don't put another one there, Lance. He says, you're getting a surge of feedback, might be from the solar on the roof or something like that. So he's coming one afternoon this week. He's going to arrange with me after work to come and he's going to do some tests and the parts washer needs a new power point and a few little jobs like that. So he's going to catch up with that next week. So yeah, the pressure pump, there's just something in this shed on that one circuit, yet it fries anything digital. You can hook a caravan onto it outside and run the whole caravan and the air cons and the whole bit, no worries at all. It runs the bandsaw, no worries at all. Yeah, but something's going on and he says, you've got to be getting a feedback or a surge or something there. So anyway, we'll see. I'll let you know when I know. So, all right, I'll really piss off this time. Catch you next week, eh? See ya. Okay, you can see we got the aircon in the background, but we're just leaving that on today. So I've got to run the boring bar backwards and I'm only feeding by hand, so I'm just trying to go slow to get a reasonable finish. Now, the size that I'm trying for, well, I'm not trying for any size really, I just want something that'll give me a reasonably thick bush so we can bring it back to standard. So at the moment that's 47.12 millimetres. I'll take it, I've just moved it in 20 thou I think, so it should be 10 off each side if I've done my adding up correctly. So yeah, I'll just crank him up and we'll see how it goes. You've got a bit of light there, I think you can see. If I come in a bit further, that might be a help. Alright, let's crank her up in reverse and see how we go. We're sitting on L medium, which L medium is around 170 RPM. And look, that seems to be going okay. When I had it at 95 it was just too slow, so we'll just see how it goes. Okay, it's a little rough there. I'm getting a bit of flex. It's just a little machine here. That's as high as the Z will go up, and I've got it all clamped off here. And I had to use a small boring head because, yeah, me big one here, Big Bertha there, just wouldn't fit in. So anyway, we're just going to plug away with it, and I'll just see what we're at roughly. Yeah, so that was about 1/2 mil we took out of it, I think. And I want probably 3 or 4 mil off here, so when I make a spacer to fit inside the bush here, I'm right to go. So this bush isn't pressed in yet, but it is, where's the joint? The joint is held tight, so if I pop that on, and yeah, so I'm 47.85. Yeah, 47.85 ID. I'll try it in another spot. Yeah, 47.88, because that's not pressed into anything yet. So 47.88, and over here, we're 46.75. So about 2 mil. I'd like probably 3 or 4 mil sleeve on here. Now, being my tractor, it'll get greased, and it'll probably hardly do a day's work in its life from now on. But I'll just keep going with this and work it out. You hear it start a bit rough at the top, and that's where the start of the weld is, where people welded it before, the undercut, and I'll have to chop through some of that. So yeah, 46.6. So I'll keep chogging away with this, and yeah, when I get closer I'll come back and show you what I've done. Well, here's the aftermath of last night's storm. The few branches, it's out of this big old iron bark here, and they are known from time to time to drop a few branches, but yeah, looks like I've got a bit up on top of the shed there, a bit down in through here. It really blew. We were thinking, holy, more branches over there. But yeah, the only thing that's in the barn at the moment is some of the 188 final drives and things like that, and a multi-power gearbox out of a 188, and the little TEF20 we'll get to one day. So no big deal really, but just a few more jobs to do, isn't it, really? When I look down the paddock, there's a few branches down the paddock there too, so with all the trees we need to clean up from clearing the fence line, we can't get anywhere near it. I get the moment you put a tractor on this paddock here, it would go down straight away. It's just very soft underfoot. But yeah, I see when we come around over the other side here, well, if you look straight down the paddock, straight down, there you are, the camera is working. About there's a heap of branches just down there near the dam. Then over the other side, we've got a tree broken off over there. So yeah, got a few little jobs to do, but that's alright, eh? There are branches everywhere, just little bits and pieces, but more in through here. So yeah, I'll probably have to walk the paddock this morning and pick up bits and pieces. There's another one just there, and coming up the back this morning on the driveway there's some. So yeah, some right on the track, but nothing to worry about. That's just living around a few trees. Hey, better living here than in the city, eh?